Well, that's what I'm photographing this evening. The Salt Lake City skyline next to a very busy road, so sorry in advance if it is noisy. That's just the way it is. But I thought, as you can see from the title, I was going to talk about being creative with tripods and a little bit about the tripod that I use. Okay, so sometimes you got a gate that's a little higher than your tripod. So some people get real high tripods, but then how do you see? True story, I once had a 24-foot tripod. I didn't use it enough, so I sold it. But there we go. What do I got here? It's very steady. I mean, not as steady as the ground. Another thing that I did is that the bridge starts around that light post. So I came down a little bit further so I don't get vibrations from the bridge. Because when you get to this, okay, you may already know this point, when you get to like maybe 20th of a second all the way down to like 2 seconds, even hitting the button can make the picture blurry, especially when you got a big honkin' Sigma 150 to 600 on there. So what I've done is I put it on mirror lock up, and then I did a 2-second exposure delay, so that when I hit the button, I mirror lock it up, and then now it goes off in 2 seconds after that. And then I should get a nice crisp picture. But with all that said, getting a very sturdy tripod, I kind of did the nudge it up against, I don't know, itself. And then the other one is kind of sitting there, and then the other one is right here. I have done all sorts of creative options with tripods. Sometimes you got the lean up against the fence, and in that case you have one leg taller, so the other one, so it's just kind of leaning this way. But okay, so I'm just saying, be creative. I don't know all the different situations we'll find ourselves in, right? The other thing I wanted to talk about is, I feel like it was about 5 years ago, I went to Really Right Stuff. I did a little YouTube video there, and I think it's one of their most watched videos. And it's just like a walk around of their office. It wasn't like high quality, but I think it was the fact that I was kind of like, okay, here's where we are, here's the options. I'm 5 years, okay, so the point is, 5 years later or so, I've got this tripod, and it works wonderfully. And that is crazy, because I'm not like, I use it a lot. I went and photographed 4,000 different buildings. I was on the road for a year straight, and then all the other times I photographed a lot of stuff. And I've traveled with this thing so many places. Now, my first opinion of the Really Right Stuff was, you know, this is a great tripod, but I also thought, I told people, don't buy this tripod. Do not buy this tripod because it's so ridiculously expensive. I couldn't support the price. So 5 years later, yeah, I think I should tell people to buy this tripod. No, I mean, it's not like I told them it was a bad tripod or not to buy it, but there's so many people that I was like, you're never going to use it enough to justify it. But if you at all think you're going to use a tripod for years to come, you get it. And the other thing that I came to terms with was, there's a lot of other tripod companies, and they all have like a low-end brand. There's no low-end brand for this. So you think about those other ones, you're like, oh, well, they've got one, you know, for $100, $200. So they're a good, cheap company. Really Right Stuff is expensive. Oh my gosh, mosquitoes are coming out, so this is about to have to end. So, where was I? I hate mosquitoes. That's what happens. Okay, so Really Right Stuff, they may have smaller tripods, but it's the same kind of cost. It may be a little bit less, but respectively, there's no like low-end brand. It's all expensive. So, I mean, I'd love to have a travel tripod from them, a smaller one to hike with. This is hefty, and it withstands the wind and vibrations, and I love it. I'm glad I went with this one over a travel tripod. But I'd love to have one that I could hike with or put in my luggage much easier and not be overweight. And yeah, but I just, you know, I can't do the cost right now. So there it is. The little additions that I got was this little leveling base, so that when I do panoramas and I level it with this level, and then I can do a nice panorama. I've gotten this thinking it was this at the first, so I didn't really need this, but it's come in handy a few times where, you know, same sort of thing. I can do this, but you have to make sure this is level. So there's that. But man, it's great. And I also have the Really Right Stuff handle that I put out to the side. I think I'm one of the only people in the world, apparently, that does that. But it's so great to have it that way. So many benefits. And I've rambled on for a little bit. So if you have any questions, put them in the the comments. I'll get around to it. I hate mosquitoes. Okay, so yeah. I guess I should have mentioned that I'm doing the Skyline because I got commissioned and signed to do a new book about Temple Square, which is right in there. So I thought I'd get a couple cool overviews. So I did this in the morning at one point. Now this is the evening. Plus, lots of people love and want this shot. So Skyline shots are fun.